Amazing. So that you've just heard, well, good morning, everybody, first of all. I'm Reverend Frances Lorenz, and to all of you who are watching at home, we're so glad you're here. You've just heard Prelude Serena Villa Fer, which was written by Carlos Guastavino and arranged by Dimitri Varela and played by Bienvenido, Yangco, and clarinet. So thank you, Benny and Terry. So I want to introduce our musicians today. They are Terry O'Hara. Our guest vocalist is Christina Brewer. And on platform with me is our staff minister, Reverend Matthew, and our practitioner for the day is Doug Taylor. And we're going to have an opening prayer from Doug, followed by a meditation from Matthew. So to begin our service is Doug Taylor.
Thank you, Reverend Francis. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to invite you in this moment to either close your eyes or just find a spot in front of you where you can have a soft, receptive gaze. And I invite you to just open and allow awareness. Be aware of your breathing. Be aware of your body, the position you're in, how your body feels, and be aware that you are in a sacred place. A sacred space where we invite that awareness which permeates each and every one of us, which permeates me, which permeates you. It is that awareness that sometimes we call God, Spirit, universal intelligence. And I know that this awareness flows through me and allows me to be aware of all of existence. Everything happening in me, everything happening around me. This awareness known as God is a part of me and is a part of you. And knowing that I'm unified and part and parcel of this awareness, I know that today we will become aware of who we really are. That each and every one of us is a part of this grander one substance called God. And I know today that Reverend Francis's message is going to help us to discover and become aware of this truth of our being, that we are multidimensional, human divine beings on this planet called Earth. And knowing that our musicians today will also share in that awareness of spirit. And I know that today's service we'll all leave feeling that spirit, just like we notice the breath entering and leaving our body, just like we notice our body being supported, seated where we are, whether here at the sanctuary or at home. And knowing all this to be true, I can release this unto the law, knowing that it is done. And knowing that it's done, I can gratefully say, and so it is. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for that, Doug. I'd like to invite us to remain in this grounded and sacred space as we move into meditation this morning. I welcome you to meditation. I invite you to place your feet flat on the earth, to turn towards your breath. There's nothing to do with your breath except just notice it. Just experience it. And as we exhale, let's allow our shoulders to drop. Let's allow our mind to find that still place, that place of calm and order. that place of peace. It's in this place that we remember who we are and what we are. We remember that we are intrinsically connected to something much greater than ourselves. And so in this moment of quiet, I invite you to allow that to pour into you, to express itself and move through, in, and around you. Let's re-engage this intelligence, spirit, divine, one mind, the all-knowing intelligence of all and everything, the creative force in the entire universe, that one which we call God, source, spirit, energy, life itself. This morning I invite you to reacquaint yourself with that which is in you, that life itself. Knowing that it meets you right where you are, always. And that it is there to provide you with all of the healing, all of the health and well-being and the prosperity and the abundance, the relationships that serve you and that fill your life with joy and peace. It reminds you of who you are in any given moment. And it reminds you that you are an expression of all that is. And that you have a purpose and a presence here right now. And each and every one of us is a part of that cosmic puzzle. Just feel that right here and right now. And let's breathe into it. And let's just rest here for a moment. So as we're resting, I invite you to bring this experience into your heart space, into your mind, and create space for this service today, this experience, the message, the music, to just expand and resonate within you. And to allow you to gently move into alignment with all that is. The nature of life, the nature of the entire cosmos, which is calling you, which is welcoming you. So as we breathe this in and begin to come back to the room and bring this experience into our heart space, I know that you come back alive and refreshed, grounded, confident. I know that you prepare yourself for today's experience and you take that with you out into the world. And as we open our eyes and come back to the room, may you be well and grounded. May you experience joy, ease, and grace in your life. And so it is.
If you know this song, feel free to sing along with me. Yes. The lyrics are, if you don't know it, you're going to catch on pretty quick because it's pretty short. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory.
glory, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. Yeah. In the light, in the love, in the glory. God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me. In the light, in the love, in the glory. One more time. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. Yes, you. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. You are as God created you, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory.
Wow. All right. So announcements. We have a couple of classes. Well, first of all, we'll start with quantum forgiveness. And Reverend Matthew and I are doing a workshop on Saturday, February 19th called Quantum Forgiveness. And we're going to be drawing from 3 texts. And if you got your newsletter, you can read more about it. But we're especially endeared to Desmond Tutu's book on forgiveness, and we'll be drawing from that, as well as a woman I've studied for about 20 years, Edith Stouffer's work on unconditional love and forgiveness, and then a little book by a Course in Miracles person who wrote Quantum Forgiveness, who's a physicist, quantum physicist. So I think you'll enjoy it a lot. You can go to the website and register. It's $80, and Matthew and I would love to see you attend. Also, starting the first Monday in March, Bev Holland is teaching self-mastery. It's an 8-week class from 6:30 to 8:30. And Doug is teaching treatment and meditation on Tuesday nights. That's March 8th, from 6:30 to 8:30. And that's also going to be 8 weeks long. These are both consciousness core classes, so they count in that category. Our movement has all these categories that you have to get credit for it in order to go into prac. And one is foundations, one is consciousness classes, another one is essential earnest, and another one is roots. So those are the 4 categories of classes. So then on Wednesday night, starting on March 23rd, I'm going to be doing a Lenten program, 5-week program from 6:30 to 7 to 8, 6:30 to 8. I did one last year, and we did looking up. We're going to do looking up as well, but this year we're going to use a new book that has just been released by Parallax Press, written by Kyra Jewel Lingo. And many of you know Al Lingo. He's been here several times. He was a member of Thich Nhat Hanh's Order of Interbeing, and his daughter, Kyra Jewel, was a member of his order and was in both Plum Village and in California, and she was his key translator. And so she has now written her own book called We Were Made for These Times. And she's got original mindfulness practices, and I'll be doing drawing from her work and her book for this kind of experience. So I just learned from Al, he called me so proud of his daughter for writing this book, and she has already sold 60,000 copies. So I think you'll enjoy that experience if you join me in March, April. It's a kind of an Easter preparation program. So what else do I want to say? Oh, the Irish show. The Irish show. We're going to have a little social event at Asia Pacific Cultural Center with an Irish meal, Irish beef stew or vegetarian stew if you're a vegetarian, and soda bread and Irish apple cake and green beer and wine. And there's going to be an Irish show that Terry, myself, Mario, and Karen Plonsky are involved in. So we will have more on the website. She's been gradually getting all the pieces together. We introduced so many changes. She said, I have to do this in pieces. So the forgiveness workshop is up, and soon everything else will be on the web. So you can go there and order tickets. So I think those are the announcements. Yes.
This thing on? The Tacoma Opera is back in business after about 2 years. And the first show is going to be this coming Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. It's a short program, about a bit over an hour. There's 3 different pieces. 2 by Debussy, 1 by Dvorak. You like the D's, apparently. And I'm playing in the ensemble. It's about a 10-piece ensemble, and magnificent voices. I mean, these people look like you see them walking down the street, and they're normal, but they open their mouths. It's like, what's going on? So if you'd like to come, it's this coming Saturday at downtown on South 9th and Market at the Urban Grace Church.
Great.
And if more than a few people want to come, there's better prices.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the price is, but I'm hoping it's reasonable. I'm sure
Where
it
did
is.
they go to get tickets?
Gosh, I don't know. You could
Do it online or at the box office.
probably, yes.
Tacoma Opera?
Yes.
Yeah, I would think
Okay, so
so. Someone who knows.
if you are intrigued and want to
Yeah.
experience a great musical experience with
Oh, yeah.
Terry playing piano as part of it, then get your tickets. So, all right, so we're going to hear a wonderful, unusual song that's from the new show called Encanto, which means enchantment.
All right. Okay, hold on. I'm the strong one. I'm not nervous. I'm as tough as the crust of the earth is. I move mountains, I move churches, and I glow 'cause I know what my worth is. I don't ask how hard the work is. Got a rough, indestructible surface. Diamonds and platinum, I find I flatten them. I take what I'm handed, I break what's demanded. But under the surface, I feel berserk as a tightrope walker in a 3-ring circus. Under the surface, was Hercules ever like, yo, I don't want to fight Cerberus? Under the surface, I'm pretty sure I'm worthless if I can't be of service. A flaw or a crack, the straw in the stack that breaks the camel's back. What breaks the camel's back? It's pressure like a drip, drip, drip that'll never stop. Oh, Pressure that'll tip, tip, tip till you just go pop. Oh, oh, oh. Give it to your sister's older. Give her all the heavy things we can't shoulder. Who am I if I can't run with the ball? If I fall to pressure like a grip, 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 and it won't let go. Oh, pressure that'll tick, tick, tick till it's ready to blow. Oh, oh, oh. Give it to your sister's stronger. See if she can hang on a little longer. Who am I if I can't carry it all? If I falter under the surface, I hide my nerves and it worsens. I worry that something's gonna hurt us under the surface. The ship doesn't swerve. Hasn't heard how big the iceberg is under the surface. I think about my purpose. Can I somehow preserve this? Line up the dominoes, a light wind blows. You try to stop it tumbling, but on and on it goes. But wait, if I could shake the crushing weight of expectations, would that free some room up for joy or relaxation or simple pleasure? Instead, we measure this growing pressure. Keeps growing, keep going, 'cause all we know is pressure like a drip, drip, drip that'll never stop. Oh, pressure that'll tip, tip, tip till you just go pop. Oh, oh, oh. Give it to your sister, it doesn't hurt, and see if she can handle every family burden. Watch as she bends and buckles, but never breaks. No mistakes, just pressure like a grip, 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 and it won't let go. No, pressure like a tick, tick, tick till it's ready to blow. Oh, oh, oh. Give it to your sister and never wonder if the same pressure would have pulled you under. Who am I if I don't have what it takes? No cracks, no breaks, no mistakes, no pressure.
Incredible, incredible. Wow. That even has that whole burden of expectations, which is one of the principles of forgiveness we're going to teach at our workshop. Wow. Well, happy February. We're going into a whole new theme called the inner life. And so the message today is, can I see the God in me? And Matthew and I were having a little discussion about when we first began to have that awareness of there being something. And it was, first of all came as an awareness there was something greater than we are, something, perhaps it was beauty that we saw all around us, or an experience of petting a kitten where we realized there's something that we can love, and that feeling was so much greater than we were. And then as we got into study, both of us have had the experience of looking for resources for a talk and going to the bookshelf, and the books almost jump out at us. It's like we have a research assistant helping us. Or later on, we began to actually get whole downloads of wisdom, and it is so powerful and impactful and so clear, it can't help but be from some greater source than we are, not just our imagination or our intellect, but someplace more powerful and omniscient. And can I see the God in me? That's a question you can ask yourself this morning, and how you began to see it, how you began to see that. I love the story that the U.S. Congressman Samuel Tribble told about. He and his wife taught their young daughter that she was her own person, that she was an individualized expression of God, and that who she was important. And this happened way back in the early 1900s, which was the time that our New Thought teachings first began to come out and were brought forth in the world. And so, coincidence? I don't think so. So back to the story, wherever Congressman Tribble's daughter went, the little girl was always associated with her famous father. And they'd say, oh, you must be Congressman Tribble's daughter. And one day she came crying to her parents saying she wanted to be herself, not just known as Congressman Tribble's little girl. And her father loved her and told her not to worry about it, that she could just be herself. And her mother gave her a tangible suggestion. She said, well, the next time that happens, just stand right up and say, no, I am Constance Tribble. And so the opportunity arose a few days later. A group of people met her, and when they heard her name, they said, why, Congressman Tribble must be your father. And she looked right back at them and said, that's not what my mother says. Now, we can be sure that Congressman Tribble was her father, but the fact was that was only a part of who she was. So each and every one of us is a unique expression of the one perfect life, the one perfect mind, whether we know that or not, whether we have actually embraced that idea. Ernest Holmes, our founder, writes in The Science of Mind, there's one mind, and each individual is a unique variation of the universe. So no two people are alike, and yet we're all rooted in something that's identical. And it's a higher sense of truth. It's a greater will. It's the uniqueness of our individual character and personality, and the real self is God. It's God-given, and it can't be denied. It's where God comes to a point of individualized and personified expression as you and me. I am the light of the world. And Charles Fillmore, who founded Unity, writes, there's but one I am, and it can't be cut in parts. It's a principle that says I am. And your I am is the son of God or the daughter of the God idea. And everything in that consciousness, in that universal oneness is open to you. And it's up to you to know that you are an I am, not just flesh and blood. The Persian poet Rumi said this poetically when he wrote, do you know what you are? You are a manuscript of the divine letter. You are a mirror reflecting a noble face. This universe isn't outside of you. Look inside yourself. And so everything you want, you're already that. So how many of you are familiar with Abraham Maslow? Nearly everybody. He was an American psychologist who, excuse me, Abraham Maslow was an American psychologist who's known to have been the founder of a movement called humanistic psychology. And he came up with a hierarchy of human needs. Remember that from our college days, anyone knows what they are. Briefly, the physiological needs, whatever we need for survival, air, water, food, clothing, and shelter are all physiological needs. And after those needs are met, we have safety needs, which include security, financial security, health, and well-being. And after those are fulfilled, the three levels of human needs include feelings of belongingness through friendship, through community, through family, social groups. In other words, we need to love and be loved. And next up the ladder is esteem. All humans have a need to feel respected. Maslow noted two versions of esteem needs, a lower version of esteem, which is the need for respect from others, and the higher version manifests as the need for self-respect. And finally, at least in his original hierarchy, is self-actualization. Whatever a human can be, they must be. So I believe that whoever has captured his or her self-actualized person really sees the God in themselves. And Maslow stated that there were 3 ways of being in which a self-actualized person engages. And I want to look at those. One is that self-actualized people are independent of the opinions of others. That's a little hard sometimes. It's hard to be independent of opinions of others. In other words, to quote Terry Cole Whitaker's classic book, "What you think of me is none of my business. But what you think of yourself is all that matters." So you're a manuscript of the divine letter. You're a mirror reflecting a noble face. And the entire universe lives inside of you. You're a place where God comes to a point of individualized and personalized, personified expression. You're the light of the world. Or as Eddie Watkins says, I am the place where God shows up. I'm the light of the world. Self-actualized people are detached from the outcome. And that's straight religious science teaching, but most of us are very attached to our results. Do you know where attachment comes from? It comes from a fear of not getting what we want, or trusting the field of pure potentiality, not trusting our true self to actualize, to capture the spirit of us, to move into that universal consciousness. And we have to release the fear that keeps us attached. So let's say together, I release the fear. I release the fear and detach from the outcome. Because I know it's all God. So it's all good. And so self-actualized people have no investment in power or control of others. Marianne Williamson said, our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And Ernest Holmes was fond of saying, there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. So the question is, why don't we use it more? Why don't we have faith? Because we're all united with this creative force that's creative. We're centers within this mind, and the sum total of our thoughts attests to attracting good or repelling it. So most of our thinking actually is unconscious, about 90% of it. So the minister's listserv was talking about, some minister put out on the listserv that she wanted to use a quote which she thought was from Emerson that says, stand guard at the portal of your mind. And then someone popped in and said, no, that was Emma Curtis Hopkins. And then another minister said, no, it was Mary Baker Eddy that said that. So this went on and on and on. They never did find the source of that quote. So she just decided to attribute it to Emerson. But think about that. That's really what we need to do, stand guard at the portal of our mind. If 90% of what we're thinking most of the time is we're unaware of it. We're 90% unconscious. So we have to prove the law of good. Every affirmative statement we make will have some power. And we have to prove we can pass from weakness to strength and fear into faith. And you have no authority for what you do other than the authority of what happens when you do it. So kind of life is an experiment. Ernest Holmes used to do experiments with the cab drivers that took him to various places in Los Angeles. And he'd meet a cab driver that was very depressed about his fares, like he didn't have any money, didn't have anyone to pick up and take anywhere. And so Ernest Holmes would say, well, try this experiment. Just say, I have all the fares I need. I'm rich, wealthy, and happy. And so the cab driver would try it for a week, and all of a sudden he was getting more fares, getting abundantly blessed, and all these things. But that is the notion of proving the law of good through affirmative prayer or just statements of affirmation. I know Stephen was in the class that I missed last week, and there's a phrase from Emma Curtis Hopkins called between presence. In other words, between you and your good is a knee. And so what does that mean anyway? And I say that Emma loves to play with words. And she's hard to translate into a foreign language because she just takes little pieces out of things and creates teaching that has nothing to do with linguistics. Well, it does in a way, because ni means nothing. It means, it's also in the word nihilism, nihilism, which means nothing. But I remember in foundations class, we used to have people write lists of positive affirmations about what they wanted to experience. And the exercise was, what comes up for you after you state, I now have my perfect house to live in? We got people to try to observe and listen to what the mind says after you say a positive affirmation. So I have the perfect house to live in. You might really begin to hear, no, you don't. Who are you to think you can have your perfect house? Okay? So what to me so Om, which means God, and presence, which means right where I am, the ni is that kind of doubt that comes up. It's what happens between a statement of good about the truth of my being and what I do with that mentally. I stick in a ni. I stick in a doubt. I say, oh, no, that isn't possible for me, poor little me. It isn't possible for me to have the house of my dreams. So it's an interesting thing. So you have to actually learn, like Gurdjieff says, you need to go to that observer self, the high self, that can see everything you're doing with your mind and begin to observe what your mind is doing in the co-creation of your world. And we know that the world is created with our word. We create everything with our word and with the affirmative word. And yet, as we begin to observe ourselves, we find that we're inserting this little thing. I call it a niggle, ni for niggle. We're inserting a little niggle and messing up the whole works. In other words, we're canceling our prayers all the time. We're canceling our positive affirmations. So it's important to stand guard at the portal of our mind and pass from weakness to pass out of fear into faith and from defeat to success. So this law of good will act upon our affirmations. And as Marianne Williamson said, we are powerful beyond measure. We just are always throwing the doubt in. We're always putting the ni between our good. The little ni between Om, ni, and presence. So Brene Brown, the author on authenticity, once gave this statement for how to behave when you're faced with a challenging situation. She said, don't puff up, don't shrink back, stand in your power. So that's the important thing that we want to be doing. So we have to come to a belief that the entire universe lives inside of me, and everything I want is already here. So I'm the place where God comes to a point of individualized and personified expression unless I negate that, unless I doubt that. So it's really about releasing fear and detaching from outcome and just knowing the truth, that it's all God and it's all good. So let's say together, I stand in the power of God, living through me and as me. So in this state of altruism and optimism, we acknowledge the givingness of spirit to all its creation. And when we do that, without doubt, we can say, yes, I see the God in me. God bless you. Thank you. Okay, we've got a song coming up, and that song is Home from the Wiz.
When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home, I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. Wind that makes the tall grass bend into leaning. Suddenly the raindrops that fall have a meaning. Sprinkle in the scene, makes it all clean. Maybe there's a chance for me to go back now that I've found some direction. It would sure be nice to be back home where there's love and affection. Maybe I can convince time to slow up, giving me enough time in my life just to grow up. Time be my friend. Let me start again. Suddenly my world has gone and changed its face, but I still know where I'm going. I have had my mind spun around in space, but yet I'm still watching it growing. Living here in this brand new world might be a fantasy, but it's taught me to love. So it's real, real, real for me. And I've learned that if we look inside our hearts to find a world full of love, like yours, like mine, like
So it's time for our offering. Thank you. That was fabulous. Yeah. So we like to say the blessing in the program. So together we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is. And those of you who are watching online, you can give on our website if you'd like to. There's a PayPal button at the bottom of the page. So we welcome your being with us. And you can also email us so we can know you and send you material. In the meantime, we're going to introduce a song that is dedicated to Mrs. Evangeline Halkias. It was requested by Bienvenido, Yangco. Mrs. Halkias was like a mother to him, and so she passed recently, and so Christina Brewer is going to be doing the vocal, and Benny is going to be doing the clarinet. So, Ave Maria.
She was like, as Reverend Lorenz said, she was a very good friend. I've known her and her whole family since I moved to Tampa and doing my infectious disease fellowship there. Her father, her husband, and her husband was my mentor. And her daughter literally right after graduation started working for me for 35 years. So this is one of her last wishes, and so I thought that in a small way I'd be able to participate with her. And thank you, Christine and Terry, for playing.
Ave Maria.
So we bless Mrs. Evangeline Halkias on her journey home. So at this time, we're going to have a healing prayer from Doug Taylor, and then that will be followed by I Am Light by India Arye.
I invite you all at home and here. Let's just take a moment of silence and rest and savor that powerful resonance of this wonderful song we just heard. I don't know about you guys, but there were just chills all over my body. So let's take a moment of silence to feel that. And before I lead us in our healing prayer, you know, February is the month of love. And we are so fortunate here in Tacoma, at CSL Tacoma, to have our own expression of love. And that's our Reverend Francis, who had a birthday yesterday. So if we will, have applause for our Reverend Francis. So yes, we are fortunate. A lot of good things happening here at the CSL Tacoma, and we welcome you, those at home, and you here in the sanctuary to join us and participate in all the great things that are happening here and the love that we are expressing in this community. So if you will, join with me, either find a place out in front of you to have a soft, receptive gaze, or go ahead and close your eyes. And I just invite you to open up and allow and receive the knowing of who you are. Become aware of this knowing, this awareness. This awareness that is beyond thoughts, beyond memories, beyond perceptions, associations, intentions, attentions, beyond imagination. There is an awareness, a knowing, that which we call God, Spirit, one substance. And I have access to this awareness, this spirit, this thing called God. And I know that each and every one of you also have this access. When we get beyond thought and we guard that portal of our thinking, as Reverend Francis shared with us here today, and we open up to that divine love that exists within and around and between us, there God is. And I can know that for myself, and I can know it for each and every one of you, opening to that sense, to that feeling, to that intuition, that which is greater. And I give thanks now for the wonderful service we had today. That awareness that we are greater and larger than what our limitations make us out to be. And this wonderful music, I am what God created me. I am light. And I do find my home not only in Tacoma, but also within my heart, within God, within one substance. And so I give thanks that we all have that opportunity for awareness. Right here, right now, today, it's available. So I give thanks for that. And knowing that I have this ability and that each one of you have this ability, thank you, thank you, thank you, great Spirit, divine intelligence, for making it so. And knowing this, I can say, and so it is. Namaste.
I am a light, I am light. I am a light, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I am a light. I am light. I am a light. I am light. I am not mistakes that I have made or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. I am light. I am a light. I am light. I am a light. I am light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. Is all light. I am a light. I am light. I am a light. I am light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light. I am a light. I am light. Sing with me. I am a light. I am light. I am a light. I am light. I am a light. I am light.
Beautiful, you sound gorgeous, and thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week. Next week I will be in Arizona. Reverend Matthew will be speaking on cause and effect. You won't want to miss that. And Terry and Karen will be singing along with Bienvenido and his lovely clarinet. So God bless you all. Have a great week. See you soon.